Harry, I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is August 19, 2025. It is 1:43 p.m. I'm in the middle of editing whatever I recorded in the middle of the night. I did the first one and I'm in the middle of the second one. I did not go to the gym. I was supposed to be at the gym right now. But anyway, there are two tweets I want to share with you. I just want to record it really quickly. Oh, damn. My son is home. So I don't know what I said already. My son just came back. He planned on going out again. He wants to hang out with his friend, go to the mall and all of that. But anyway, there are at least 3 tweets I want to share with you, but I think I'm just going to focus on 2. The third one is like a Donald Trump kind of thing, but I don't want to include it in this video. So there are some either interviews, both of them are interviews that some squaddies are revisiting, and I want to listen to them. So when I do have moment like this and I want to listen to it, I might as well just record it and then make a video out of it and share it with you. Okay, so this is the first one. They should have kept quiet and disappeared. That's a quote, by the way, but the truth is they did stay quiet for a long time, particularly after stepping down from royal duties. For months, they said nothing, gave no interviews, and kept low profile while living in Canada and later in America. Okay, so this one is only 1 minute and 3 seconds. Okay, I'm obsessed with this clip from Harry's interview with Stephen Colbert. Let's listen.
And for 12 months during lockdown, where we said literally nothing, it was relentless. And that was a real eye-opener for me. I never thought that we'd be away from it completely, but I did think that we would get some form of peace. But that's when I realized that actually our mere existence outside of that institutional control was more of a threat.
I want all the people.
Okay, before we get to her, one of the things that I've said in past videos, when Harry did the Center Bali speech, and I think it's a bit after the Sandringham summit and after the Center Bali, he was supposed to fly to Canada and meet Meghan and Archie. And I said that speech, after that speech, this is where the royal family should have kept it shut. Leave them alone. Don't bother them. Right? But they kept going, and then I believe it's because they're relentless, non-stop of instigating that pushed Harry and Meghan to do the Oprah interview. And also, one of the things that I said during the Center Bali speech, Harry literally praised his family for his support of Meghan and all of that.
I will always have the utmost respect for my grandmother, my commander-in-chief, and I'm incredibly grateful to her and the rest of my family for the support they have shown Meghan and I over the last few months.
Even though the squad knew it wasn't true, but to leave in a good term for public record, but they refused to leave him alone. Not too long ago, I was doing a video. I came across one of those Royal Rats TV interviews the squad share from the UK, where this woman is saying that, like, as if Harry and Meghan continue to speak, but it's like, and I think she was saying something about Meghan, and I was like, since the Oprah interview, I haven't heard anything from Meghan. Pretty much, I pause here because the Center Bali. This is where the royal family should have left Harry and Meghan alone. Harry and Meghan left in good terms. Harry did his speech, he praised his family, his grandmother, and he even said he will continue to serve the Queen and his military association. He will continue to do things. Pretty much he said nothing will change. It's just that he'll be doing it by himself.
The decision that I have made for my wife and I to step back is not one I made lightly. It was so many months of talks after so many years of challenges. And I know I haven't always gotten it right, but as far as this goes, there really was no other option. What I want to make clear is we're not walking away, and we certainly aren't walking away from you. Our hope was to continue serving the Queen, the Commonwealth, and my military associations, but without public funding. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible. I've accepted this, knowing that it doesn't change who I am or how committed I am. But I hope that helps you understand what it had come to, that I would step my family back from all I have ever known, to take a step forward into what I hope can be a more peaceful life. I was born into this life, and it is a great honor to serve my country and the Queen.
This is where the royal family, the royal vat, should have leave him alone. And then in the Oprah interview, Meghan have said that they try to do things to protect them, the institution, by the way they frame certain things. I've explained it in past videos.
So in conclusion, if you'd had the support, you'd still be there.
Without question.
Yeah.
I'm sad that what's happened has happened, but I know, and I'm comfortable knowing that we did everything that we could to make it work, and we did everything on the exit process the way that it should have been
with
done.
as much respect.
With as much
and,
respect.
Oh my God, we just did everything we could to protect them.
Where during the Santa Bali speech where Harry was saying certain things, and I sort of framed it. I said, this is why, because he framed praise the royal family and all of that. Okay, I've explained that in past video, not too long ago, could have been 2 weeks ago. Let me move it back before she start talking, okay?
Outside of that institutional control was more of a threat.
I want all the people who are really fixated on why Harry is taking his, personal family trauma so public to really sit with that clip. Because when you're a generational cycle breaker, you are in a lose-lose situation. Because even if you try to say, okay, I'm not going to fight anymore, I'm not going to rise to the occasion, I am just going to go and find my peace off with my new nuclear family by ourselves, you are still a threat to the system. You are showing there are other ways of being outside of the system. I can only imagine how much more true that is for something like the royal family.
Okay, I've said some of these in some past videos. She explained it in a different way, but pretty much the same thing. And this is why I keep on saying we need to keep on praying for them. Because what they wanted to do, the institution, is for Harry and Meghan to suffer. Mostly Harry, okay? And extension Meghan, to be in need of money. And then for them to call back. And then this is where they will mistreated them, okay? If you want money, you're gonna have to do this. You know how they like to mock people, make fun of them, and laugh at them. This is the thing that they wanted. But Harry and Meghan are not giving them that satisfaction because they are hard workers. Meghan has tons of connection, and they are business driven, and they have good people around them who's already rich. They're not about their money, Harry and Meghan's money. Instead, they will help guide them how to maneuver around whatever wealth they're building. Okay, so the institution is pissed at that. They wanted them to be in need of the institution. When they left, the kind of sketch that I saw they were putting out, and I kept some of it, 2 of them in particular, where Harry would be working at McDonald's, and they would be begging, on the street for money and things like that. That's what they wanted for them. But due to their brilliant minds, both of them are very smart, business driven, and they could carve their own way. So they're making money off of the thing. And then the worst thing is the institution, the royal rat, expect all the things that Harry and Meghan are doing, making their money with as ever, and all the wine and things like that. They expect them to give the money away. I mean, what kind of a thing is that? If these people are crazy. But let's read some of the comments. All right. Yet, during the silence, the British tabloid didn't stop. Meghan especially was still relentlessly targeted. There was no institutional protection or public defense from the palace, even as misinformation spread and racist tropes were recycled. And let's not forget where Harry said, not only did they take their security away, okay, they even telling other government officials, do not give them security. Don't protect them.
That's hard to forgive. I actually couldn't believe it. I thought with all the disagreements and all of the chaos that's happening, the one thing that I could rely on is my family keeping me safe. And not only did they decide to remove my security in the UK, but they also signaled to every single government around the world not to protect us.
My goodness. And that reminds me of all the things that happened to Princess Diana and all of that. And they're claiming that it's Princess Diana who did not want security.
In October 1996, Princess Diana flew to Italy to be given a medal for her contribution to humanitarian work, especially in the field of public health. When she had attempted to withdraw from public life back in 1993, she had insisted on her Scotland Yard bodyguards being permanently removed, apparently because she was worried that they might be spying on her.
And I doubt it. She cannot speak now, okay, to defend herself, but based on what I'm seeing happening to Harry and Meghan, and then for Harry to said, you know, after the court, things have happened, he's seen some stuff privately, and you're telling us that they don't even want other countries to protect them. Okay, behind the scenes, they were facing security concern, loss of public funding, and a total media feeding frenzy. So when people say, quote, they went to Oprah and trashed the royal family, end quote, it ignores the context. They try silence and it didn't protect them. All right, that's an ad. They didn't just go to Oprah out of the blue. It was a culmination of sustained mistreatment, abuse, harassment, neglect, and loss of trust in the system that was supposed to protect them. Silence wasn't working, so they spoke. That is true. And I always felt this is 100% true. One of the things I used to think about with the Oprah interview, it's all the headlines from the time they aware that Meghan was dating Harry, and then all those negative headlines was a way for them to respond to these. That's the way that I saw it. But this tweet also makes sense as well. Okay, January 2020. Make no mistake, it's an insult. Fleet Street's jury said Meghan and Harry can expect no mercy after their stunning decision to go rogue and quit. Okay, that was before we knew everything. Again, they could have gone with that headline and make people believe it's Harry and Meghan who left. And Harry didn't even address that he left. And I think he said something, they try whatever they can, and it was impossible.
It was so many months of talks after so many years of challenges. And I know I haven't always gotten it right, but as far as this goes, there really was no other option.
But later on we find out, not only through Spare and court document, it was William who kicked him out.
Began to address Granny about the 5 options. Your Majesty, you've seen the 5 options? Yes, she said. We all had. They'd been emailed to us. 5 different ways of proceeding. Option 1 was continuance of the status quo. Meg and I don't leave. Everyone tries to go back to normal. Option 5 was full severance. No royal role, no working for Granny, and total loss of security. Option 3 was somewhere in between, a compromise, closest to what we'd originally proposed. I told everyone assembled that, above all, I was desperate to keep security. That was what worried me most, my family's physical safety. I wanted to prevent a repeat of history, another untimely death like the one that had rocked this family to its core 23 years earlier, and from which we were still trying to recover. I'd consulted with several palace veterans, people who knew the inner workings of the monarchy and its history, and they all said option 3 was best for all parties. Meg and I living elsewhere part of the year, continuing our work, retaining security, returning to Britain for charities, ceremonies, events. Sensible solution, these palace veterans said, and eminently doable. But the family, of course, pushed me to take option 1, Barring that, they would only accept option 5. We discussed the 5 options for nearly an hour. At last, the B got up and went round the table, handing out a draft of a statement the palace would soon be releasing, announcing implementation of option 5. Wait, I'm confused. You've already drafted a statement? Before any discussion? Announcing option 5? In other words, the fix was in this whole time? This summit was just for show? No answer.
Again, this is why I said the Centre Bally speech should have been where the royal family and the institution should have left them alone. Okay? When was this dated? January 2020. Okay? We would have bought that headline, take it as if it was true that they left, they quit. That was the narrative they were going with. The tabloid, the media, and all of that. I bought it at that time, but later on we find out that it was William who kicked him out.
So in conclusion, if you'd had the support, you'd still be there?
Without question.
Yeah.
Okay? So each time they refuse to leave them alone, we're getting more truth come out of the BS they put out. What is this here? Let me pause before I make sure this is something is worth sharing on this video now. Okay, so I'll add this to the discussion. Just that the video below I already covered on another video of mine, so there's no reason for me to put it here. The last few years, royalists have claimed there's no such thing as part-time royal. It's full-time or not at all. Yet they'll justify Prince William and Kate Middleton being on multiple vacations, doing little to no work, and not turning up to events. Okay, spot on. And extreme BS. Yeah, I think the York sisters are doing the same thing as well. But since this is mentioning part-time, I wasn't gonna play this, but I'll play it again for the sake of the tweet that I just read.
I do think if you pull the lens back a bit, you'll remember those years of Workshire Will, etc. We got through them. They're an incredibly impressive couple, greater than the sum of their parts, particularly when it comes to William. One of the key problems is with the departure of the Sussexes, and I think as humans we all need this, we all need someone to push off, to compete with in a healthy way. You remove any kind of competition. And at the same time, the predominantly right-wing press have pushed William and Kate up on this incredible, untouchable pedestal. So really, I think, to an extent, understandably, he pretty much feels he can do what he like. We've made him untouchable in some respect.
Okay, I already covered this, but I just let it play for the sake of this. This is another thing as well. Oh my God, so many good things I'm seeing right now. An hour ago. So let's share this, because eventually I'm gonna have to share it with you. I was gonna share just 2 videos. Let me pause and add this to the list. Okay, so I add this on the list. I was just thinking, this is completely off topic. While my husband and I were away last week, we went to a restaurant to eat dinner. It was probably around 5-6 o'clock. We wanted to go before things start getting crazy. And while we were there at the restaurant, there were about, I think, 3 or 4 kids. Probably the most, I would say, between 13 and 14. They came in, they ordered their food and things like that. They served them. And I was thinking of my son doing things like that with his friends. But because the way the environment, what Trump is turning the country into, as a parent, you're afraid, okay? Even though the kids will be minding their own business, those police and things like that will find a way. Knock on wood, they never face that. But that just crossed my mind, because he just came in and he went out early this morning. A lot of time while I'm recording, that's when he's getting ready. The other day I was supposed to share some of the conversation, and I decided not to. But anyway, so he came in a few minutes ago and he's telling me, oh, I'm gonna go back out again, I'm gonna go to the mall. And that's what just crossed my mind, seeing those kids while my husband and I were out. The kids just being kids, being polite. Their parents give them money to just go hang out, and I would love for my kids to be able to do that. My neighborhood is pretty decent. It's not it's very mixed, let's just say it's very mixed. So anyway, let's get back to this. I'm thinking out loud. I don't even think I'm gonna share it. Let me not waste time. Okay, they don't need another exclusive contract. They can breathe for the first time in 5 years, and Netflix knows it. That's why, rather than lose them to Apple, Amazon, Disney, or any other streamer waiting in the wings, Netflix compromised. While I'm reading this, I'm thinking, where is it? Amazon. What's this name? Bezos. Is he the one who own? Usually, company have different branches, like Amazon. Is it Jeff Bezos who still do the streaming? Does he own that? Let's look it up. Let me pause and look it up. So this is what I type on ChatGPT. Is Jeff Bezos on Amazon streaming service? Jeff Bezos does not personally own Amazon streaming service, but he is the founder and major shareholder of Amazon, the company that owns and operates Amazon Prime Video, its streaming platform. Okay, so that it breaks down a little bit more. And then another question that I asked, who owns Amazon.com Inc.? So it's a public trading company. All right, so it's owned by shareholders. Okay, I just wanted, okay, so there's his name here. Jeff Bezos owned about 10% of Amazon total share. He was the founder and is currently executive chairman. The reason I was looking into that, okay, making business with these people, I know it's a huge gamble, especially for Harry and Meghan, the way the institution is going after them. It's hard for me to explain, but there is a chain, a group of people. It's like if one has an issue with another, they will help the other. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Similar to, for instance, Omid, who wrote was The End Game. Okay, so someone felt like, okay, let's mess up his book in one of those languages, and then they'll give him the favor. Okay, so this is why I was looking into that. This is someone, I mean, in every business, Harry and Meghan need to be very careful, but with this guy, very extremely be careful. But anyway, let's go back to this. That was the first thing that popped up in my mind when I saw this. Okay, one of the streaming service. Okay, so I read this. Let's see that. Now, Harry and Meghan are in a different position, experienced producers, proving draws and cultural voices with a global audience. They don't need another exclusive contract. They can breathe for the first time in 5 years, and Netflix knows it. That's why, rather than lose them to Apple, Amazon, Disney, or any other streaming waiting in the wings, Netflix compromised, offering a deal that gives Archwell both freedom and financial security. I wish I could find... Is it there? Oh, if it's there, I'm gonna read it. Okay, let's read that. Not all of those things I like to read, but this is something that's worth reading. Maybe I'll share it on my community board. Moving the goalposts, critics may need a support group to cope with the new upgrade Sussex Netflix deal. 2-minute read 2 hours ago, so it's brand new. The Sussexes shift from an exclusive to a first-look deal shows just how bankable and strategic they've become, while the haters are still arguing among themselves. When news broke that Archwell Productions have extended its partnership with Netflix, the loudest voices weren't fans celebrating, but critics suddenly debating the fine print. These are the same royal reporters and tabloids that once gleefully declared the Sussexes deal dead in the water. Now faced with the reality that Harry and Meghan are still very much in demand, the narrative has shifted to whether the new agreement is as good as the last one. And another thing too, I understand business means business, but I think Harry and Meghan, at least for me, let me speak for myself if that was me, knowing the situation that they were in 2020, okay, where they didn't have anything to... I don't know what they show to give that confidence $100 million deal, but they saw the potential similar to how Mark Cuban saw their potential. There's the video of Mark Cuban saying how much he would love to do any project with Harry and Meghan.
Harry and Meghan are incredibly marketable. I'd call them the new young Obamas. They're going to make an ungodly amount of money, and you know what? They literally could become billionaires over the next 20 years. If either of them came on Shark Tank, I wouldn't even wait for them to pitch. I'd be like, I'm in, whatever you want, yes, because they are so marketable. It would be so easy to develop products and projects for them, with them, and around them. It'd be yes, yes. Can you hook it up?
So this is the exact same thing I think Netflix saw in Harry and Meghan. With that being said, knowing the situation that they were in, you know, security issues, financially they were in need. And I think that moving forward, whenever they're doing anything, I think they will check with Netflix first to give them the first option of anything, because of what I feel like. Again, I'm not speaking for them, I'm just my opinion here. I will give Netflix the first choice of anything that they do, even with contract or no contract, to give them the option of see if they could get the best deal first before they go to someone else. Okay, as a form of appreciation of what they did for them. Okay, let's continue. But if you step back and look at the Sussex's new arrangement, a first look extension, the answer is obvious. You won again. Here's the truth. A first look deal is huge. It means Netflix gets the chance to see every Archwell pitch before anyone else. That's exactly that. I didn't even know this, but that's what I was thinking. But unlike an exclusive deal, the Sussexes aren't locked in. They now have the freedom to shop their projects elsewhere if Netflix passes. That's leverage. That's autonomy. And that's a sign of how much the balance of power has shifted. Yes, their original report, $100 million exclusive deal, was a breakthrough. It gave them financial independence, credibility in Hollywood, and the resources to deliver projects that topped Netflix chart and won critical acclaim. But exclusive contract also meant pressure. They had to deliver everything within one platform's boundaries under constant scrutiny while building a production company from scratch. Fulfilling the deal wasn't just lucrative, it was a proven ground. This is the thing here, starting from scratch. This is the thing with these two, Harry and Meghan. They produce, they create with their brain, with their expertise, understanding. And I could see both of them. I've said it in the past. There's 2 videos that I have where I say what will Archwell will be like. That was before everything came out. They are balancing each other. Meghan with her experience in the entertainment industry, and Harry doing his things. I mean, Harry could pitch something to Meghan, and Meghan could turn it into the form of entertainment type of thing and to earn some money. Okay, even if Harry doesn't have, okay, my son's making noise. What did I say here? Even if Harry does not have the experience, but I think now he probably get the hang of it. He's probably learning to what be in the background and see how the thing work. But I lose chain of thought. My son was making noise. I think I remember what I was gonna say in the original recording. Even if Harry doesn't have any experience or anything like that, but ideas, and this could go both ways, both of them. Harry could pitch something to Meghan, and Meghan could pitch something to Harry, and then they make each other's ideas much better. That's the leverage that they both have, because their brain is always working. They balance each other. They could make each of their respective ideas better. Okay, and this is something I think I have said in one of those 2 videos that I did, I don't know, I guess 2020, when they announced Archwell was gonna be that thing. But it wasn't as big as it is now. It was from the very beginning. Did I read this? Yeah, learning from scratch. So they are creators. They know how to produce from scratch. And this is the thing that the royal family didn't expect from them. You got 2 brilliant minds. They took everything away from them and they start from scratch. That's the only thing. Very rarely I'm jealous of people, but this is the thing I'm jealous of. But then again, am I into the entertainment kind of thing? So there's my elimination right there. But let's continue. Now Harry and Meghan are in a different position, experienced producers, proving draws and cultural voices with a global audience. The other thing as well, the link will be in the description. You guys could avoid me reading this. Just read it yourself. But when things like that popped up in my mind, I like to share it. What was I gonna say? Now that Harry and Meghan are in a different position, experienced producers, proven draws, and cultural voices and global audience are Meghan with her audience, her followers, her 4 point something million followers. She respect them. It's to that, okay? She's building up her platform and she's able to get all those deals. She respect her followers. She's been saying that way before she did the company being with Harry. She did that interview with AOL or something. That's when she met one of her fans personally to first they met through Twitter and then they met in person. So all of that. She always said her if you have a platform, you really need to say something valuable. And to that, she respect her followers.
Yeah, it's still my baby. I wanted a place where I could share these great experiences I'm able to have and make it inspirational for people, but also a reminder that it's all attainable, you know? Like I didn't grow up with this kind of lifestyle or being interviewed or having fancy things. Like that is all very new. And so to be able to show like, you want that, you could totally have that and you are enough and you're worth it. And it's also been a great way for me to connect with people like Emily, who's right here. I only know her through Twitter, and I knew she was coming because I saw it on social media.
Stop it, really?
Yes, and she's going on a trip soon to Costa Rica to do some aid work because she said that my UN stuff inspired her. I wrote you a letter. I brought it. Well, you know, I feel a really big responsibility. Like if you have this kind of job and you have an opportunity to have a profile where people are listening to what you're saying, I really, truly think you need to be saying something that's valuable. So yes, you can talk about like, where did Rachel get that pencil skirt? Fine, sure. We can have that conversation. But I'd also like to talk about
women's rights.
Women's rights and like my work with UN Women or with World Vision or humanitarian trips or just really bolstering self-esteem that has nothing to do with the external. I think what's been really exciting as we talk about the transition of this out of my career but into the role is that, as you said, the causes that have been very important to me I can focus even more energy on, because very early out of the gate I think you realize once you have access or a voice that people are willing to listen to, with that comes a lot of responsibility, which I take seriously. And at the same time I think in these beginning few months and now being boots on the ground in the UK, I'm excited to just really get to know more about the different communities here, smaller organizations who are working on the same causes that I've always been passionate about under this umbrella. And also being able to go around to the Commonwealth. I think it's just the beginning of a...
There's a lot to do. There's a lot to do.
Okay, they don't need another exclusive contract. They can breathe for the first time in 5 years, and Netflix knows it. That's why rather than lose them to Apple, Amazon... Did I read this again? Apple, Netflix, okay. And Netflix knows it. That's why rather than lose them to Apple, Amazon, Disney, or any other streamer waiting in the wings, Netflix compromised, offering a deal that gives Archwell both freedom and financial security. The significance can be overstated. Archwell gets paid upfront for pitches if Netflix says no. Those projects like Meghan's animated series, I've been saying this, I hope they bring it. I hope they bring it back. Like Meghan's animated series Pearl, once dropped by Netflix, can find new homes elsewhere. That's one thing I've been saying. That's a level of flexibility their first deal didn't allow. So while critics keep moving the goalposts, Harry and Meghan keep winning. They've gone from proving themselves under an intense spotlight to negotiating on their own terms. This first look deal is indeed an upgrade. The Sussexes are no longer locked into a restrictive arrangement. They're freer, more experienced, bankable, that's another thing here, bankable, and in demand. Netflix, the largest streaming platform in the world, aware that other major platforms were lining up to sign them, had no choice but to compromise to keep them. The result is a first look deal that gives the streaming platform first dibs but with less control. And for Harry and Meghan, that's the best of both worlds. And that's exactly the point. The Sussexes are operating from a place of freedom and power, breathing easier than they have in 5 years. Archwell production is stronger, Netflix still has access, and Harry and Meghan have options. So while critics bicker and move another goalpost to cope, make no mistake, the Sussexes then just survived their first Netflix deal, they level up. That's a very good article. Short, to the point, and very informative. I'll take a screenshot later and put it on my community board on PYTE. Alright, so let's read some of the comments. Oh, not much. When you know Netflix will have gladly jumped right back into another exclusive contract, Sussex said, nope. Okay, all about freedom and autonomy. Yeah, especially that Pearl. When I look into it the very first time, I was aware and I look at the description, what it is about, and I was like, it's almost like Carmen San Diego. You learn and you learn about geography and different things, and I think that would be perfect for kids. All right, so now let's go to the next tweet that I have. I'm not gonna do the Donald Trump thing because did I put it? Okay, I messed up. I'm not gonna do the Donald Trump. It'll be on something completely different. I don't want to mess this up. And then after this, that's it. So this video, it's where all four were on stage, and this is where I said that where the animosity all started. All right. So I mean, there's squads who've known Meghan way before me, but the moment I came across this, I have the full video. When I listened to it, and I was like, this is where it all started, because you could see the way Meghan speak, and she even told them she doesn't mind being in the background and do all of that. But anyway, after I listened to the whole thing, and I said, this is where it all started. I even discredit Harry, who said it was the Oceania thing. It might be, but this is where it started. This is where the light bulb came in and said, this is a problem. You have the thing with feminine, where Meghan says something like, women don't need to find a voice. They already have it. They just need the support, something like that. I'm just paraphrasing. But anyway, let's listen to this. Meghan Sussex looks beautiful at all times, even when she's unknowingly magnifying Kate's mediocrity. This is only 45 seconds out of, I don't know, it's probably more than 5-minute interview.
To find a voice. They have a voice. They need to feel empowered to use it, and people need to be encouraged to listen. And I think right now in the climate that we're seeing so many campaigns, Me Too and Time's Up, there's no better time than to really continue to shine a light on women feeling empowered and people really helping to support them and including in that. And it makes such a tremendous difference. So it's a kind of, with the blind crime and with homelessness, with maybe some addiction and things. And I just think, just to get us to find some common environment.
Look at my good face.
Yeah, draw ideas together and find hope. Really excited.
I'm sorry, it's very low. It's very low. I could hardly hear it. But anyway, let's read some of the comments here. That ride home, Harry said, "You did good, babes." William drew a clench as he knew Harry had won again. There's the laugh here. He looks absolutely stunned when Kate speaks. When I saw this, I thought there would be trouble ahead. There's that, 100%. That hair flip, there's the laugh here. Her hair on fire, gorgeous head of hair. There's the heart here. A diamond speaks, then the third speaks. Shit. Okay, voice clarity and addressing the issue without stumbling. Yep, that's Meghan. William can forgive Harry for having a better wife. I don't know. Does William realize he needs to change? He's 40-something. I don't know if there's any change. But is he willing to change? Okay, notice the classic neck scratch with hair flip. Meghan was fighting for her life on that stage. When I see this, Meghan realizes how dumb Kate is and is trying not to laugh. Women can speak one sentence without pauses. Okay, beauty is definitely in the eye of beholder, and not everybody shares Harry's aesthetic taste. Yeah, that's true, but whatever. Please, goodness, do these leftover royals even go to panel anymore? go to panels anymore. All right, so that's all I'm gonna share with you. Eventually I was gonna record them anyway, but since I have the time, I might as well do it. All right, so there's a whole bunch of other videos or tweet I would like to share with you. There's the Donald Trump thing here. I will put it on a different video. Oh, that's JTB. Maybe I'll put it, let me move this all the way down. Elephant, animals, let's put it here. Politics. Let's do these. I didn't get a chance to record them. Okay, this is what I need to edit now. This is what I just did. Fab 4 JTB. Let's do that. That was before I went on my little getaway with my husband. He actually enjoyed. He wants to do it again. That was the first time we've done a get together like that, just us without the kids. And then my son, my youngest, oh my God, later that night when we came, if I tell you my husband what he did. All right, so when we got home, okay, sidetrack completely, personal issues here, don't know if I'm even gonna share it. We came back, maybe it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and you know, I have energy, there's videos I needed to edit, so I just went straight. It was only an hour away, it wasn't that far, we didn't go too far. When we got home, took a shower, I was gonna sit down and watch TV, and I was like, you know what, I have some videos that I need to edit. My husband went to sleep, whatever, so I came to edit the video. So when I finished editing, it was probably by 7 o'clock at night, and then my husband got up and he went to sit in the living room to watch TV, and apparently our timing sort of coincided. I went to sit in the living room as well. My husband was like, he was joking though, it's like, get away from me, I had enough of you. I was like, what? I just want to sit down and watch TV. I would have gone to bed, but I wanted the video to render, and then, you know, in 4 or 5 hours I'll come back and start recording again. But he's like, get away from me, I had enough of you for 3 days. But anyway, let's share these. All right, so I have 2 JTB's videos, and then there's a Netflix trailer. I'm not gonna show the trailer, it's gonna give me too much work. All right, this is JTB. Nick Peterson calls himself a Christian while mocking Meghan Sussex, speaking about her trauma with Oprah. That is not faith, that is hypocrisy. God sees the malice and the cruelty, he will answer for it. Okay, I don't know who these people are. Okay, the only reason I'm sharing this is because of JTB. Okay, but for some reason he find all those people coming out of the woodwork to talk about, you know, against Meghan. Let's listen. 2 minutes and 46 seconds. Screenshot in between.
A lot of people think you, Meghan.
What the hell?
I'm the Sergeant. Since popping on the scene, you're the one ruffling all the feathers.
What?
Just the messenger. But if not you, then who's to blame for all this royal drama?
It's the Queen.
Oh crap, right under the bus. Okay.
Why would you edit this? This is the Oprah interview that was done since 2020. This is the narrative they're trying to do. As like a couple days ago, I even mentioned it in this video, that they were saying Meghan was why she keeps on talking and things like that. And I was like, since the Oprah interview, I haven't heard it. She haven't mentioned anything about the royal family. Why would this person do that? Stirring the pot. I don't know who he is, if he's Christian or whatever he is, but why would he do that? What the F? Well, he's a baggage for God. I mean, they could pretend to human eyes that they people of God or whatever, but the true God sees everything. He's truly a baggage for God.
This is juice.
Nick Peterson calls himself a Christian, yet he mocked Meghan Sussex, sharing her trauma with Oprah. Let's talk about what that really says. Nick, you put Christian in your bio like it defines you, but you mock Meghan, speaking about suicidal thoughts, racism, and isolation. There's nothing Christian about that. That's not faith. That's cruelty. Meghan Sussex is the most targeted woman in the world. She is the most attacked person alive. Her name...
Every time I see people like that come out of nowhere, I'm just wondering, are they part of that group that I keep on thinking of? Because out of nowhere, And then to bring up a old video, old interview she did, I think, what, 2020? The Oprah interview? 5 years ago? 2021. What, 4 years ago? Why is he bringing that back up again?
Is dragged daily in the tabloids by racists, by people who want to break her. And instead of showing compassion, you decide to pile on. You chose to add to the noise.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. That's not comedy. That's not satire. That's taking someone else's trauma and turning it into cheap content. You didn't punch up. You mocked a woman at her lowest. And that says everything about you and your morals. Your platform, mediocre. Instagram, 50,000 followers after over thousands of posts. TikTok, under 200,000 with years in, with content removed because it crossed the line. And your answer to that wasn't to do better. It was to move to platforms where anything goes. That's not success. That's failure pretending to be defiance. You mock Meghan because her existence reminds you of everything you'll never be. She's accomplished, admired, historic. She's a woman who will always be remembered. And you, without someone else's name to drag, you're irrelevant. And about your faith, Christianity is supposed to stand for love, mercy, and kindness. You showed none of that. You can write Christian in your bio all you want, but your actions told the truth. And the truth is, what you did did not align with the values you claim to stand for. And here's the part you should sit with. God sees what you did.
Exactly.
God sees the malice.
Yeah, I didn't even listen to him. That's what I said. He could say anything he wants. He could fool the human eyes, us people, but God sees everything. That's why I was like, baggage for God. That's exactly true. I agree with him 100% on that part. And many other things he said in the past too.
Mockery, the cruelty. You can fool your followers, but you can't fool him.
Exactly.
And when that day of reckoning comes, you won't be judged by your skits or your edits. You'll be judged by how you treat people at their most vulnerable. And on that measure, you failed. That's your reality, Nick Peterson. You call yourself a Christian. Please. Your actions expose something else entirely.
Exactly. That's what I said without even knowing that's what he said here. This is a man, right? What man marks a woman for clicks? In general, if a male spends a lot of time talking shit about a woman, that's a huge red flag. Okay, the most hateful human you'll ever find are so-called Christian. There's a hateful human in the White House right now who was just there by Christians because they love how evil he was toward people who were different from them. They're even hateful toward little children. Okay, the good book says, be wary of men in sheep clothes. Many are called, but few are chosen. Okay, it's the male Karens for me. Alright, he is a mediocre pink boy who never got invited out or won anything significant for his talent. This type of failures always attack overachievers. He's like worthless, work-shy Willie, a loser who needs to bring his brother down because he has not come up. That'd be a good way of putting it. Who? Nick Peterson may call himself a Christian, but true Christians follow in Christ Jesus' footsteps, and that is not a mockery. Nick Peterson shall reap what he sow. Okay, a Christian embodies love for their neighbor, integrity, humbleness. It's essential to offer understanding and compassion to those who have faced challenging times. We are grateful that she is thriving, and let us celebrate her journey toward health, peace, and happiness with her husband and kids. Okay, I don't like the sense of this. Let me just black. Honestly, I feel you guys should stop talking about this that here. It makes them look like they are relevant. Most of us have never heard about them except when squaddies talk about them. Alright. There's that. 3 racist losers and nobody attempt to crawl to top of YouTube supremacy's world on Princess Meghan's back. Not Princess Meghan's back for no damn reason. God is going to triple shower blessing and keep Meghan's and her family safe due to her presence continuing to feed everyone, including people who self-identify as enemy. Alright, so let's what do I have here? JTB, another JTB video, and that'll be it. I'm already 40 something minutes. Okay, there might be part 1 and part 2. Okay, Margaret Chola is rewriting the role of fashion with her granddaughter Diana Kelazzi By her side, she turned a village in Zambia into a global runaway. Style has no age limit and confidence never goes out of season. Okay, from Zambia to global style icon, meet Margaret. Okay, so let's listen. 2 minutes and 1 second.
Margaret Chola is proof that style has no expiration date. What began as a casual Instagram project with her granddaughter, New York stylist Diana Kalezi, has become a cultural moment that has redefined beauty, age, and self-expression. From a rural village in Zambia to the feeds of fashion watchers worldwide, Chola has positioned herself as an unlikely but undeniable style icon. Her looks are nothing short of editorial. We see oversized straw hats paired with sculptural gowns, sequin dresses worn with platform heels, and bold jewelry styled with the kind of confidence that belongs on the front row of Paris Fashion Week. Every frame exudes a sense of power, play, and reinvention. These are not costumes, they're statements. What makes Chola's presence so magnetic is not only the clothing, but the attitude. She sits with the poise of a woman who knows she belongs in every room she enters. There is wit in the sunglasses, strength in the metallic bangles, and joy in the colors. It is fashion at its most authentic, stripped of trend chasing, and instead rooted in personal power.
She reminds me of Bridgerton, the actress, the black lady. I forgot her name. Let's continue.
Her collaboration with her granddaughter speaks to something even deeper. This is intergenerational fashion at its best, where legacy meets imagination. It's a reminder that style is a language, one that can be shared, translated, and elevated across time. In a world obsessed with youth, Chola reframes the conversation. She knows that individuality and glamour thrive at any age. Her image carry the same energy as an Iris Apfel campaign or a Grace Jones editorial, yet they are distinctly her own. She's not imitating the canon of fashion icons. She's expanding it. Margaret Chola has become more than a grandmother styled for Instagram. She is a muse. She is a movement. She is fashion history in the making.
Very interesting. That's the first time I'm hearing of her. Wow, thank you for this particular post. I have never heard of her. Same here. Let's pause this. Never heard of her, but of course it makes sense. I'm not on IG or TikTok. Wow, I'm so appreciative of Madame Margaret Chola. I love that her granddaughter and her are so in sync with their fashion, relatability, and love. It shows. And look at you and the snazzy bow tie. Okay, love them and the background story. Glamour is killing it. She's a shining star. The colors, fabulous. That's that. Let's do a prayer. Alright, one of the prayers that I did, I said safety. Do this one. Night prayer for protection against evil. Heavenly Father, I come before you tonight with a heart that longs for peace. I surrender every thought, every burden, and every fear into your loving hands. Cover me with your presence and surround my home with divine protection. Let no evil come near me or those I love. As I lay down, quiet my soul and silence every anxious voice. Let your angels encamp around me, and may your spirit watch over my sleep. Thank you for being my refuge, my fortress, and my hiding place. I rest in you, Lord, knowing I am safe. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, I think this is pretty good. So that's that. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.